We pay about 20% more to live here in West Fargo because of the special assessment tax burden than we did in living in Lakeville.
Patience is running low for neighbors in West Fargo, not only due to the large amount of construction projects going on in the area, but also because of the price tag that ultimately comes with them.
Neighbors in the Wilds area took to Facebook after they say special assessments aren't totally fair when it comes to dividing them up. And that prompted Valley News Live's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley to ask city officials about fairness.
When Dave Scott and his family moved to the Wilds 3 years ago, this construction nightmare wasn't in the works yet. So although his special assessment wasn't cheap by any means, it wasn't getting spendier anytime soon. But things are much different now.
I don't think anybody has a problem necessarily paying taxes. Like, it's just part of life, right? The two certain things in life are death and taxes. But when you don't feel good about the money that you're spending on those taxes or special assessments, then it's a cause for concern.
Most West Fargo residents can expect their special assessments to go up about $3,100 next year.
Had we known that the special assessments were going to go up because of these road construction projects, we definitely would have looked at a home either on the Moorhead side or just maybe move back to the Twin Cities.
A cost that could be lower. However, there are currently 4 large properties on the south side of West Fargo that are not annexed.
So in those scenarios, you have people whose properties have significantly benefited from new roads and infrastructure, but they've never had to pay a penny for it.
Jerdevig says the earliest those properties could be annexed is December 2020.
Because there's not special assessments billed to these large parcels of land, that special assessments burden is now being passed on to homeowners like me and all the neighbors in my neighborhood.
Making Scott and other West Fargo neighbors say they'd like to replace the use of special assessments with something else.
If that means there has to be a retail tax, so be it. If that means there has to be something else that's not such a large cost burden, then so be it.
And while Jerdevig is open to hearing alternative ideas from the community, he says special assessments probably aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
At the end of the day, the dollars have to come from somewhere. So if you get rid of special assessments, then, whether it's property tax, income tax, sales tax, something has to increase to offset that.
In West Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Multiple officials tell Valley News Live that the Cheyenne project is already behind schedule and the contractors responsible are being fined. However, our request for those contracts have not been granted.
Several crews are responding right now to the Rose Creek neighborhood in South Fargo for a rollover crash. Crews on scene say a man and a child were in the car at the time of the crash. The call came in a little after 4 this afternoon. It happened at the intersection of Rose Creek Parkway South and Rose Creek Boulevard. A car hit a tree and flipped onto its roof. Police on scene believe that speed and alcohol were factors in the crash. They're asking you to avoid that area while they clean up. Stick with Valley News Live as more information develops on this story.
Police continue to search for answers surrounding a disturbance in Moorhead. They were called to an apartment complex on the 2400 block of 4th Avenue North. It's still, we're told, an active investigation. They aren't giving any more details, but they say there is no threat to the public.
Pretty wet today and overcast as well. We don't want to make you wait to find out what's happening this evening. So Justin is standing by with your no wait weather. Justin?
And thank you, Andrea and Mike. Good evening, everybody. We have a lot of cloud cover out there today, and some of us are seeing some rain showers. We're seeing a little bit of isolated rain, especially from the Cooperstown area back to just north of Thief River Falls and into the New Fulton area, but the bulk of the moisture is off to the south and southeast of the Fargo area. So in a line from, say, Gwinnett toward Barnesville to Bemidji. South of that line, you have a very good chance of seeing some showers this evening. Current temperatures around the region where they are seeing the rain, it's cool into the lower 40s in most places, with upper 40s and lower 50s most everywhere else. And to make it even feel cooler, the wind is from the north at 15 to 30 miles per hour. So it's going to be a blustery evening with clouds and rain showers south and east of Fargo. Temperatures into the mid and then eventually lower 40s, and it'll feel a lot worse with the breezy winds. But more sunshine is on the way, along with a lot warmer air. We'll tell you how warm we're going to get in the full 7-day forecast that's coming up later in the newscast.
All right, thanks, Justin. Authorities have released the cause surrounding a death in Barnes County. Autopsy reports show 57-year-old David Palmer died of hypothermia. On March 22nd, Palmer's body was recovered on 12th Street Southeast in Barnes County. That's southeast of Laverne. The body was sent to the UND Medical School for an autopsy. Officials say the autopsy report shows Palmer died of hypothermia. There was no foul play involved in this case.
Authorities have identified the man who died in a crash near Montpelier, North Dakota. He's 80-year-old Daryl Kirshenman of Montpelier. Authorities say that Kirshenman was rear-ended by a truck behind him on Highway 46 last night. His Jeep then hit the ditch and rolled. He was thrown from the vehicle and died. The other driver, Damon Smith of Litchfield, was treated at a Jamestown hospital, but he's going to be okay. No charges have been filed. This crash remains under investigation.
Fargo police are asking for your help identifying someone. They say this is a person of interest in several cases involving wallet thefts and unauthorized use of credit cards. If you have any information, you can call Fargo police at 241-1405. Be sure to reference photo number 109.
A new study finds that 43 states, including Minnesota and North Dakota, could have a dangerous chemical called PFAS in their drinking water. Fargo is the only city in North Dakota that's on this interactive map. The water treatment utility director says Fargo's water is safe to drink because the firefighting chemical that had PFAS in it that leaked in 2016 didn't get into the water's intake system.
Here at the base, there's no drinking water wells located within a mile of our installation, and at the heavy clay soils in the Red River Valley restrict groundwater flow. So we're optimistic that that mitigation may have prevented any contaminants from reaching any drinking wells.
In Minnesota, the interactive map shows 5 different cities that have contaminated drinking water. To see if your city has the chemical in its drinking water, go to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story.
FaceTiming, posting on Instagram, texting, these are all fine things to do unless you're driving. Too many Minnesotans are treating drive time as downtime instead of focusing on the #1 task in their vehicle, which is driving. During a 3-week campaign, Minnesota law enforcement cited over 1,900 drivers for texting and driving. Texting citations climbed 30% from 2017 to 2018. Distracted driving contributes to 1 in 5 crashes, with an average of 45 deaths and 204 life-changing injuries each year. When a crash occurs in Minnesota, the driver behavior that law enforcement agencies cite most often as a contributing factor is inattention or distraction. To learn more, just visit our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story.
With the assistance of the North Dakota DOT grant funding, the Grand Forks Police Department dedicated 32 hours to distracted driving preventative measures. These patrols resulted in 25 distracted driving tickets. Studies have found that distracted drivers are 23 times more the risk of a crash or near-miss event and 6 times more the risk of a crash than a drunk driver.
The Mapleton Volunteer Fire Department responded to its 3rd fire in the last 10 days. Mapleton Fire would like to remind you, if you're doing a controlled burn, remember to call their dispatch center ahead of time, 451-7660. Also, stay at the site to monitor the fire until it's completely out.
Vice President Mike Pence is heading to the Valley tomorrow. He's going to be at R&J Johnson Farms in Glendon. There, he'll promote the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement. The vice president will talk with farmers about how the trade deal could benefit the agreement. The still needs congressional approval, and Mexican officials have said the deals could fall through if Congress does not ratify it this year.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, letter carriers are leading the way in helping feed the hungry. How you can help.
And temperatures stay cool for this time of year, only into the lower 50s for highs. We should be into the upper 60s. We're going to be above average by the end of the 7-day forecast. We'll give you the details coming up next.